What's up, Broncos country? Get ready, because what I'm about to show you today will make you believe that something really big is about to happen in Denver. While everyone's talking about the 2 straight losses, while critics are already starting to question the team, there's a secret that few people are paying attention to. A secret that could completely change the Broncos season. And this secret has a name and address. Empower Field at Mile High. Stick with me until the end, because the numbers you're going to see are so absurd, they almost seem fake. We're talking about pure dominance, a transformation nobody expected, and all of it happening right under our noses. Here's the situation. The Broncos are coming off 2 consecutive losses. The fan base is starting to get worried. Some are already starting that old narrative that the team won't make it, that the season might be lost. But hold on, Denver Broncos family, because there's a really big reason to believe. And that reason has everything to do with what happens when our team plays at home. Since Bo Nix arrived in Denver, since he put on the orange and blue for the first time as a starter, something magical started happening at Empower Field. And I'm not talking about good performance, no. I'm talking about absurd dominance, numbers that make you question if you're reading them right. Let's get to the facts. Since the start of the 2024 season, the Broncos have played 9 games at home, 9 games in front of our passionate fans. And you know what the result was? 7 wins and only 2 losses. That's right, 7-2 at home in the Bo Nix era. But wait, it gets even better. Those 2 only losses that the Broncos suffered at home happened right at the beginning of the 2024 season. One was against the Chargers and the other against the Steelers, both highly respected teams in the league. After that, after Bo Nix and the team adjusted, after the chemistry started working, Empower Field became practically an impenetrable fortress. Now comes the part that's going to make you jump out of your seat. In those 9 home games, the Broncos scored 252 points. Read that again, 252 points. Meanwhile, opponents managed to score only 131 points. You know what that means? A differential of 121 points? 121 points. To give you a better sense of what that represents, let's do some simple math. Dividing those 121 points by 9 games, we have an average victory margin of 13.4 points. 13.5 points difference in each game. That's not just winning, family. That's dominating, imposing your rhythm, showing who's boss when the game is in Denver. And there's more. The average points the Broncos score playing at home in the Bo Nix era is 28 points per game. 28 points. For those who really follow football, that's an offense operating at the highest level. That's an attack that's not afraid, that doesn't freeze up, that goes at the opponent from the first snap to the last second on the clock. Think about it. When was the last time you saw the Broncos playing like this at home? When was the last time you could practically guarantee that if the game was at Empower Field, victory was almost assured? It's been a while, hasn't it? But now, with Bo Nix commanding the offense, with Sean Payton drawing up the plays, with our defense doing the dirty work, reality has completely changed. And before I continue, if you're true Broncos country, if you bleed orange and blue, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell. Because here you stay on top of everything happening with our team, with deep analysis and that passion only those who love the Broncos can understand. Now, let's talk about an important detail many people are forgetting, Sean Payton's pattern at the start of seasons. Check this out. When Payton arrived in Denver in 2023, the team started with 3 straight losses, 0 wins in the first 3 weeks. The fan base was desperate, everyone thinking it was a mistake to hire him, that the Broncos had wasted money. But you know what happened? The team adjusted, found its way, and the season was much better than that rough start suggested. And look at the pattern. In the last 2 seasons, including this 2025 one, the Broncos are 1-2 in the first 3 weeks. Coincidence? No, family. This is Sean Payton making adjustments, studying opponents, calibrating the team, and there's an even more revealing stat. Historically, Payton wins half his games in September, 50% success rate in the first month of the season. That means getting to 2-2 after the first 4 weeks would be exactly what's expected. It wouldn't be any surprise, it wouldn't be any disaster. It would simply be the Sean Payton pattern of starting seasons. So when you see the Broncos with 2 straight losses now, when you see the worried fan base, remember this: it's part of the process. Payton isn't a coach who starts strong and collapses in the middle. He's the type of coach who adjusts, who improves, who makes the team grow throughout the season. And with the absurd numbers we have at home, everything indicates this week could be the turning point. Let's speak a truth every football fan knows. Playing at home makes a difference. Always has and always will. Denver's altitude, the crowd noise, familiarity with the field, all of it counts. But what we're seeing in the Bo Nix era goes far beyond a simple home field advantage. When you have a 121-point differential in 9 games, when you win by an average of 13 points, it's not just the altitude taking effect. It's a team that found its identity, that knows exactly what to do when playing in front of its fans. It's a quarterback who feels confident, who doesn't tremble when making that decisive third down throw. And check this out. While everyone wants the Broncos to play better on the road, and of course that would be ideal, the truth is that having this home dominance is already halfway to having a good season. If you win all your home games and split the road games, you're already in the playoffs. It's simple math, but the most important thing here is what this home performance says about the team's future. Because when you have a young quarterback like Bo Nix showing this kind of command, this kind of leadership at Empower Field, you're building something solid. You have a foundation to work with, a base on which you can build something special. Let's talk specifically about Bo Nix. When he was drafted, lots of people were doubting. Can he handle the pressure? Is he ready to be a starter? Wouldn't it have been better to take another quarterback? You remember those questions, Broncos country? I remember perfectly, but Bo Nix arrived and simply started doing his job. Without much fanfare, without much talk. He simply stepped on the field and showed he came to stay. And the home numbers prove this indisputably. You don't put up a 28-point average playing at home if you don't have command of the offense, if you're not reading defenses correctly, if you're not making the right decisions. What's even more impressive is how Bo Nix improved over time. Those 2 home losses early in 2024 were part of the learning process. They were valuable lessons. And since then, family, the growth has been exponential. Each home game, he seemed more comfortable, more in control, more like the leader this team needs. And we're not just talking about offensive statistics. We're talking about a quarterback who knows how to manage the game, who knows when to be aggressive and when to hold the ball, who knows how to use the clock in the team's favor. These are veteran quarterback qualities. And Bo Nix is showing this with just over 1 season of experience as a starter. His connection with the receivers, the chemistry with the offensive coordinator, the confidence in the offensive line, all of it is working at the highest level when the game is in Denver. And this, my friends, is the kind of thing that wins championships. Because in the playoffs, when you have home field advantage, when you play at home, this kind of dominance can be the difference between going to the Super Bowl or falling short. Now, let's talk about what really matters. The next game, Monday night, primetime lights, everyone watching. Denver Broncos versus Cincinnati Bengals at Empower Field. And what a perfect moment for the Broncos to break this 2-loss streak. The Bengals are coming to Denver with serious problems. Their roster isn't at its best, and most importantly, they don't have Joe Burrow available. For those who don't know, Joe Burrow is the heart and soul of that team. He's the guy who makes the offense work, who turns mediocre plays into touchdowns. Without him, the Bengals are a completely different team, much less dangerous. And now, take all those numbers I showed you and apply them to this context. The Broncos playing at home, where they have absurd dominance. Bo Nix commanding an offense that averages 28 points at Empower Field. A defense that, at home, holds opponents to just 14 points per game. And on the other side, a Bengals team that's depleted, without their main player coming to play in Denver's altitude. The Broncos' first home game in 2025 was against the Titans. It wasn't a spectacle, it was a hard-fought win, but it was a win. The team was still adjusting, finding its rhythm. Then came those 2 road losses, which hurt, which stung the soul of every Broncos country member. But now, coming back home, with all this momentum the numbers show, Everything indicates a win is coming, and I'm not saying it'll be easy. Football is never easy. It can beat any team on any Sunday or Monday in this case. But when you look at all the factors, when you analyze the situation coldly, it's hard not to be confident. It's hard not to believe the Broncos will dominate this game the same way they've dominated at home throughout the Bo Nix era. So far, I've talked a lot about the offense, about the points the Broncos score at home, but I can't fail to mention our defense. Because, family, defense wins championships, and Denver's defense at home has been absolutely suffocating. Think about it. In 9 games, opponents managed to score only 131 points. That's an average of 14.5 points per game. 14 points. In the modern NFL, where offenses explode everywhere, where quarterbacks throw for 300 yards every weekend, holding a team to 14 points is practically an art form. And this isn't coincidence. This is a defense that knows how to use the altitude in its favor, that knows how the crowd noise can force errors from the opposing offense. This is a defense that studies, that prepares, that executes the game plan to perfection when playing at Empower Field. Pass rushers get to the quarterback more efficiently. The secondary makes tighter coverage. Linebackers read plays faster. Everything works better at home, and the numbers prove this indisputably. So, when you combine an offense that scores 28 points with a defense that holds opponents to 14, you have the perfect recipe for dominant victories. You have a complete, balanced team that knows how to win in many different ways. It can be in a high-scoring game. It can be in a defensive battle. It can be a comeback. It can be dominating from start to finish. The Broncos at home know how to win in every possible way. And I can't talk about playing at home without talking about you, Broncos country, because all this dominance wouldn't be possible without the most passionate fan base in the NFL, without the fans who pack the stadium, who scream from the first to the last second, who make that deafening noise in crucial moments. When the opposing team is trying to communicate the play, when the quarterback is shouting adjustments at the line and the crowd is making all that noise, it forces errors. It causes delay of game penalties, false starts, miscommunications that result in sacks and turnovers. The Broncos fan base is literally the 12th player on the field, and Bo Nix has talked several times about how confident he feels playing at Empower Field, how the crowd's energy, the unconditional support, makes him play better. This isn't just locker room talk. This is real. This impacts the game in concrete ways. A confident quarterback makes better decisions, takes risks at the right time, makes that pass that defines the game. So when you see these numbers, when you see this absurd home dominance, remember that part of it is your merit, fan. It's the merit of every person who buys a ticket, who goes to the stadium, who cheers with passion. Because football is about atmosphere, it's about energy, and Empower Field at Mile High has an energy that few places in the NFL can match. Now let's think a bit about the future, family, because these numbers aren't just about the present. They say a lot about where this team can go. When you have a young quarterback showing this home dominance, when you have a coach of Sean Payton's caliber making adjustments, when you have a fan base that doesn't abandon the team in difficult moments, you have all the ingredients to build something special. The Broncos still have several home games ahead this season, and if the pattern holds, if this dominance continues, we're talking about a team that could very well compete for a playoff spot. Because in the AFC, where every win counts, having home wins practically guaranteed already puts you in a privileged position. And it's not just about this season. It's about what this means for the coming years. Bo Nix is just beginning his career. With each game he learns, he evolves, he gets better. If he's already performing at this level now, imagine 2, 3 years from now, when he has complete experience, when he knows all the league schemes, when he has perfect chemistry with all the receivers. Teams that dominate at home always have a chance. Because when you get to the playoffs, when you secure home field advantage, you bring opponents to play on your turf, where you're practically unbeatable. Now that's how you get to the Super Bowl, family. That's how you build dynasties. To give you a better sense of how impressive these numbers are, let's make some comparisons. Throughout the Broncos' rich history, several different eras brought success to the team, but few moments had home dominance as clear and consistent as what we're seeing now. A 121-point differential in 9 games isn't normal, people. This is exceptional. This is the type of number you see in teams that go far in the playoffs, that compete for division titles, that become forces in the conference. And we're seeing this happen right at the beginning of the Bo Nix era, which makes everything even more exciting. Of course, it's still early to make comparisons with the legendary Broncos teams, with those teams that won Super Bowls. But the foundation is being built, the groundwork is being laid. And when you have numbers like these, when you have this consistency, you're on the right path. With each home game, with each dominant victory, with each solid Bo Nix performance at Empower Field, that foundation gets stronger. The team gains more confidence, opponents start to fear playing in Denver more, and the positive snowball keeps growing. And look, I'll tell you something, Broncos country, after analyzing all these numbers, after seeing all this home dominance, I genuinely believe we're at the beginning of something very special in Denver. I know 2 straight losses hurt. I know. The fan base gets worried, but the fundamentals are there. When you have a team that plays like this at home, when you have a quarterback who shows this kind of leadership, when you have a defense that suffocates opponents this way, you're not far from making noise in the league. And with the Bengals coming depleted to Empower Field on Monday, I feel this could be the season's turning point. A convincing win against Cincinnati, showing all this home dominance once again, could be exactly what the team needs to start a positive streak. It could be the moment when everything clicks, when confidence fully returns, when the Broncos show the entire NFL they came to make some noise. So, Denver Broncos family, what did you think of these absurd numbers? Do you believe the Broncos will continue this home dominance? Do you think the win against the Bengals could be the start of a winning streak? Comment below, I want to know each of your opinions. And look, if you made it this far, if you watched the complete video, you're true Broncos country. Drop that like for the algorithm to know this content is important for the Broncos family. Share it with that friend who's also passionate about the team, because quality Broncos content needs to be spread. If you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, because here you stay on top of everything about the Denver Broncos. Deep analysis, numbers that matter, that true passion, only those who bleed orange and blue can understand. And remember, there's a game Monday. Monday the Broncos come back home, back to that fortress that Empower Field at Mile High has been. With all this dominance, with all these impressive numbers, the expectation is for another crushing victory. The Bengals better watch out, because Broncos country is ready to make some noise. See you in the next video, family. And as always, go Broncos! Let's get 'em!